I want to say shalom, shalom to all the nation of Israel, the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. First, I'd like to give all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh. Ba'ashima Mashiach Wamadak Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, who the world only calls God. And Yahushua is the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus the Christ. Another strong shalom to the men of the Lord that's going out there magnifying the name of the Most High and doing everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. Another strong shalom to all the mighty Aqua, the sisters that are at home, that's reverencing their husbands. Not only that, the single women that's being on fire as well and rehearsing the righteous acts of our foremothers. And last but not least, another strong shalom to the children and teenagers that are at home doing all they can to make their calling and election sure. And the topic of the video is, what is you thinking right now? Right now, as we speaking, as you finna watch this video, what are you thinking? Are you thinking about the Lord right now? Or is your mind somewhere else? Is your mind caught up on the festivities of this world? Is your mind focused on the thoughts and the cares of this life, man? And this is very important because you living in the end days. Brothers say that a lot, but you actually are. All hell is breaking loose. Different spirits is trying to take over brothers and sisters' minds in these last days. Right? I hope brothers know that. I hope brothers know that every day you wake up, Satan wants your mind. He wants your mind to be separated from the Most High. Like I said, this is very important because we approaching the last days. And if you don't have a sound and a stable mind, all hell will break loose. It's not a might break loose. It probably will break loose. No, all hell will break loose. And you either going to be destroyed or you're going to forsake the Lord. You have to get your mind right in these last days. Let's go to the book of Proverbs, right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, right? Let's go to Proverbs, chapter 24, and verse number 9. And a lot of brothers and sisters, their mind is not right. Literally, their mind is focused on getting a vehicle. They want a 2022 Dodge Dart, or you want that house, or you still want to make it in the society. You care about the views you get on Facebook. A lot of you women and men, your mind is not right, man. And the Lord said this. This is Proverbs chapter 24 and verse number 9. It says, the thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men. So if you thinking on everything else that's foolishness, and if it's not profitable to the Most High in his ministry, the Lord said it's a sin. It's a sin for you to constantly be thinking about that woman. It's a sin to constantly for you to be meditating on who used to be in the world. The Lord said it's a sin if you thinking how to please your boss at your job or your woman. You always thinking about how to take your woman out. What you gonna do for the kids? Brother, that's good and all, but your mind got to be constantly upon the Most High. Why? Because we said earlier, Satan is taking brothers' minds captive. And your mind, that's really your strength. Jake say in the world, a knowledge is power. And that's true. But your mind is really your strength. Your mind is what you have, what keeps your thoughts together, what keeps you stable. Now, if your mind is corrupted, whatever that's proceeding in your mind, you're going to start to do eventually. That's why the Lord said, and let's go to Proverbs chapter 23. Right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 23 and verse number what? Proverbs chapter 23 and verse number 7. It says, for as he thinketh in his heart, meaning your mind, your heart is your mind. As a man is thinking in his mind, what? It says, so is he. So whatever you're thinking in your mind, eventually you're going to start to do whatever your mind is telling you to do. That's why your mind is very important. Your mind is interactable with your spirit. Because your mind is telling you, you get 1,000. Even Esau says, and the scientist says, you get over millions of thoughts a day. Your mind just goes spark, spark, spark. Your mind is, like I said, your mind is what keep you together. If you do not have your mind right and these days are approaching, the Most High will kill you, man. This is not nothing to be taken lightly. This is not a game. A lot of brothers and sisters come to the truth, and it's only a matter of time before and it kind of aggravates me, but they come into the truth and they think this thing is literally butterflies and cotton candy. No, this is real. Men die for this truth, man. Men are catching hell for this truth. Men could get killed for this truth and will get killed for this. This is not a game. Now we know, every brother and sister is held to a different high standard, but this is good for everybody, mainly you men that go out there and teach. Because it's not easy, man. It's not what people think it is. If your mind is not right, the Most High will kill you. It's only a matter of time. Whether that's 10 years from now, or whether that's cut down to 5 years from now. It could be 2 months from now. You have to have your mind ordered. And you got to be on the spirit. You got to be spiritual. And we in this fleshly body, we're going to get corrupt thoughts. You're going to get wicked thoughts. You're going to go off. Let's go to the book. Sirach chapter 16. Sometimes you can't help it. Like I said, you in this fleshly body. You're going to get wicked thoughts. But it's up to you to immediately rebuke it and think on pleasant things. Think upon the Lord. Examine yourself. If you're not reading, studying, these are the things you have to do. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 16. Right? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 16. Right, and verse number 23. Sirach, chapter 16 and 23. It says, he that wanteth understanding will think upon vain things. You got to ask yourself, are you thinking upon vain things? Things that don't matter. Why? Because the truth reality is most of the majority of the things in the society, they don't matter. The clothes, none of that stuff matters. What men highly esteem in this world, the shoes, the women, the instant gratification, the praise, none of that stuff matters, man. It's vain. You got certain women in the truth, they constantly checking their phone to see how many likes they got on Instagram. Literally, this stuff is happening. You got men checking how many followers he got on Twitter, how many views he got on Facebook. When it's all said, you think the Lord care about when you're ready to get judged according to your works, you think the Lord is going to pull up how many views you had? You think the Most High, the Lord is not dealing with that. That's of this world. And we want the Lord, I want to know how the Lord thinks about me. We don't care what man thinks. And certain people, they get affected like that. They don't wear certain stuff. Oh man, she might think I'm broke. Let me go out my way to buy these $1,000 Gucci shoes just to please somebody else, just to please another corruptible man. Hey, we don't care, man. We trying to please the Lord. It says, he that wanteth understanding will think upon vain things, and a foolish man erring imagine follies. That means somebody that's constantly meditating on things that's not profitable. And sometimes, you're dealing in this society, in this world, your mind could get caught up on your job sometimes. If you have a family, a wife and kids, your mind could get caught up on certain of those things. But you got to order your thoughts right. If your thoughts is not right, what do you have, really? Here you are, you're in a fleshly body. You're not perfect. You go off. Next thing you know, your mind not even on the Most High. And you just all filthy. You have to get your mind right, man. And your mind got to be focused on the Most High 24/7, literally. Because the moment that is not focused on the Most High, all hell could break loose. That's where Satan wants. Satan's trying to come in. I told, hey, Satan is taking sister's mind. When that sister's not praying, when she's not thinking about the Most High, his judgments, not only his judgments, but his ordinances, the commandments, why the Lord said certain things. That's where Satan likes to creep in. Next thing you know, the sister is bugged out her mind over a strange doctrine. Or she hitting up 50,000 brothers in the camp. Her mind is not right. Your mind is your strength, man. Let's go to the book. Matthew, chapter 15. Matthew, chapter 15. Certain things just don't matter, man. Right? Let's go to Mark, chapter 15. Right, this is Mark, chapter 15, and verse, it's like it, Matthew, chapter 15, and verse number 17. It reads, Matthew 15 and 17. Do ye not understand that whatsoever entereth at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart. So the things that you speak, it comes from your mind. Your heart is your mind in the scriptures. Every time you see that word heart in the Bible, that's not always talking about your actual heart. No, in certain contexts, your heart means your mind. The Lord said, but those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man. Meaning your mind could defile you. Reading on, verse 19. For out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts. You get evil, wicked thoughts every day. And the fact that you getting evil thoughts, man, that should humble you. You should always have your head down. Like, dang, I just went off. It's not a day that go by that you don't sin. Whether that's your mind or a will for sin. Reading on. From out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts, murderers, adulteries. And men, they do that. They see a brother, and this happens in the truth. Don't think this don't happen in the truth. Or just because you come into the truth, this is not able to happen to you. You got certain sisters, they see another sister walk by. Next thing you know, they thinking evil toward that sister. It was an Eve, I used to work at Family Dollar probably like a year ago. It was this Eve I was working with. She said she just look at people and something in her mind tell her she want to kill them. Just something out of nowhere. Some say she want to grab someone and stab them. That's them demons that's on their mind in the world, and they don't know that. So Satan, he wants your mind. Hey, Satan is on my heels right now. He waiting for me to slip up. Hey, he waiting for my mind not to be on the Most High or on the Lord. He's just waiting. Why? So he could take advantage. And in Jacob's trouble, especially in the days approaching, if you don't have a stable mind and know yourself, you're going to get destroyed by the Most High. Reading on. For out of the heart proceedeth evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications. So certain men, they look at other men's wife and they say, dang, you know what? She do look good. She look good. Man, why he with her? Those things happen. Reading on. Thefts, false witnesses, blasphemy. These are the things which defile a man, but to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 6. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 6, and verse number 16, the classic. Proverbs 6 and 16. These 6 things that the Lord hate, meaning the Lord is finna list things that he doesn't like. It says what? Yea, 7 are abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations. Now, we all know that, we are in this fleshly body. It's going to happen. But if you willfully, constantly thinking and you entertaining those thoughts, the Lord hates that. And if you're doing what the Most High hates, it's only a matter of time before he get up with you. So you got to ask yourself, what are you thinking about right now? Or prior to you logging on, where was your mind at? You have to have your mind set right. That's how I write the second chapter. Let's go to the book. Right? Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 4. Let's go to the book of Wisdom of Solomon. Chapter 4. And I want verse number 10. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, and verse number 10. It reads, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, and verse 10. He pleased God and was beloved of him, so that living amongst sinners he was translated. Going into Enoch. Verse 11. Yes, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness shall alter his understanding. So if Enoch didn't get taken by the Lord in a certain amount of time, guess what? Eventually, that wickedness would creep into his mind. Enoch's mind eventually would have been turned away from serving the Lord. Because during the time of the sons of God, you had heavy idolatry going on. Men didn't care about the Most High. But if Enoch didn't get taken up into a cloud, the wickedness would have altered his understanding. And in 2022, you living in a year of wickedness is almost at an all-time high. Now, it's not all the way up in the sky, but it's almost there. We haven't reached that peak, but it's almost there. So you got to beware lest America alter your understanding. There's a lot of distractions out here. The cars, the lights, the women, just wickedness. Literally. They put it all, you can't even watch a damn commercial without there being wickedness in it. They got an old Edomite looking at a child, but it's subliminal. And you gotta watch the music that you listen to. It'll put a spirit on it. Everything is, this is the mindset you gotta have. Everything is trying to alter your understanding. It might be your own Akim in the truth. He might say something presumptuously, and guess what? It's trying to alter your mind. It's playing with your mind. You have to have your mind set right. Right, knowing it says, yeah, he was taken away, lest that wickedness shall alter his understanding, or deceit beguile his soul. For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest. Meaning wickedness could destroy somebody that's of a pure spirit, of a pure heart. Read on. It says, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind. And that's deep when you think about it on another level. Because right now, Satan and these evil spirits, they're preying on a brother that don't know he's new into the truth. He don't know what's going on, but they praying, looking to alter his understanding. And at the end of the day, it's all up to the Most High. But these things are happening as we speak. That's why it's very important to have your mind and be of a sound and a sober mind. Let's go to the book of 2 Chronicles. And that's where integrity comes in at. We was just talking about integrity. But let's go to 2 Chronicles, chapter 16. And you can't teach nobody integrity. I'm sorry, you can't do that. It's either you have it in you or you don't at all. And integrity is doing what's right, even when no one is watching. It's the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 16, and verse number 9. Right? 2nd Chronicles chapter 16 and verse number 9. For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth. What are the eyes of the Lord? The angels. They're constantly watching men. Whether you in New York, LA, you could be in Alaska somewhere. The eyes of the Lord is constantly running to and fro. Renewing. It says to shew himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. So you have certain Pacific angels that are sent down from the Most High to see what you're thinking about. When it's 12 o'clock at night and you still up, now you have two choices. When these angels come down and scribe out where your mind is at, you could either be meditating upon the Most High, his commandments, his ordinances, the laws, or how to please him, or your mind could be on his word. Foolishness, vanity, folly, things that don't matter. You got certain brothers, they still reminiscing on who they used to be in the world, man. How you was the man. Everybody liked you. And them girls was looking at you. Hey, we don't care about that, man. Those are the simple-minded brothers. And their destruction is lying at the door for them. So you have Pacific angels, they send down to specifically examine what man is thinking about. And they bind that up and they bring that up to the Most High. And the Most High, he knows your thoughts. How else is he going to know? Why? Because you have the angels descending and descending, recording man's thoughts. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. You can't escape the Most High with your thoughts. A lot of brothers and sisters, especially sisters, they think that. They think, oh, that's in my head. He won't know. A man might not know. I might not know what you're thinking right now. I might not know what the other brother is thinking towards me or about me. But the Most High, he sees everything. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. Right? Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. And verse number 54, I believe. 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. And verse 54. It reads, Behold, the Lord knoweth all the works of men, their imaginations, their thoughts, and their hearts. And that's plain. Most High, he knows your thoughts. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. He knows everything about you, the inside and the out. It's just man that doesn't know. A lot of brothers and sisters, they try to put on a front or a facade for somebody that's corrupt. Like I said, you putting that on for man. You're literally thinking and care about what another man thinks about you. That's kind of odd. And we care about what the Lord thinks about us, man. When it's all said and done, them people not going to be right there with you when you got to testify of your works. They're not going to be right by beside you. So why should their opinion matter? You got to get your mind right, man. You have to get your mind right. Let's go to 2 Corinthians, chapter 5. Second Corinthians. It's like in 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse number 18. Now let's go to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and I want verse number 18. It reads, But while we look at the things which are not seen, but at the things, but while we look at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. And you have to be looking at the things that are not seen. Because everything that you see right now, it's not going to be here it might not be here 10 years from now. That old woman that you want back in the world, she's not gonna be here. That's in the past, man. That top job, whatever you want. Everybody got different things that they want in their life. Whatever it is, if you could see it, it don't matter, man. Some things just don't matter. And as you progress in the truth, and it takes experience and the time being in the truth, you learn that certain things just don't matter. It is what it is. It's not highly esteemed. Renewing. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal. Everything is temporal, man. Literally. These relationships that you have with certain people, it's temporal. Relationship you got with your job, that's temporal. It's not everlasting. The car you have, the house, the shoes. You might have a damn iPhone 13. That don't matter. It's temporal. Renewing. For the things which are not seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. That's why we got to train our minds, especially when we come into the truth. Why? Because we coming from a westernized society where everything is backwards from when you come into the truth, man. Literally. This world, what is a so-called white man? If you have 10 million followers on damn Twitter, you're praising the eyes of the so-called white man. If you have this, it's like the more you have in this world, that's what people praise. But what about when you have less? What about when you don't have anything? That's what people fail to realize. So coming into the truth, it's not a must, but you have to, man. That's why you see certain people, they fall out. We don't make these stories up for no reason. We see brothers that have literally fall out. Brothers have disappeared. Brothers have had diverse lusts that we have never encountered before. We see these things. Why? On a deeper level, their mind is not right. They come into the truth and they still bring that stuff that they did in the world, and they try to fit it in the truth. Some things you got to leave off. You can't bring everything into the truth. The Lord said it's a time to lose and it's a time to gain. In Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter. So Satan is constant. He wants your mind. Let's go to the book of Judah. Chapter 16. And it's a mean account, man. Judah chapter 16. On the deep, when you really analyze it, on the deep fold, it get deep. Because this happens every day. Let's go to the book of Judah. Chapter 16. Right? Judah chapter 16. This is Judah chapter 16 and verse number 7. It reads, "For the mighty one did not fall by the young men, neither did the sons of the Titans smite him." Now it's just going into Holofernes. Holofernes was a general for Nebuchadnezzar, a captain. Now it said Holofernes, he didn't fall by the mighty young men, neither by the Titans. Meaning this man was not only physically strong, he had a war spirit on him. He was a top guy. He was a captain of the host. It says, "Nor high giant set upon him." So even the giants can literally kill Holofernes. It couldn't conquer this man or pull him down. And like I said, when you analyze this, man, this get deep, right? Judah 16 and 7, renewing. It says, "But Judith, the daughter of Merai, weakened him with the beauty of her countenance." You see that? You see how a man could get off tax by something that small? Imagine a damn giant, and them giants in the ancient world, they were probably about 9 foot. Strong, muscular men. Hey, they said a damn giant didn't even set upon this man. But Judith, A woman, she literally took his mind prisoner. We're going to read on. So you can't let America and the things it gives you take your mind over. We're going to keep saying that over and over. Your mind is your strength. So you get your mind taken by America, everything, your strength is taken. Your spirit is taken. Reading on. Verse 8. For she put off the garment of her widowhood for the exaltation of those that were oppressed in Israel, and anointed her face with ointment, and bound her hair in a tire, and took a linen garment to deceive him. Judah, she's doing this for a righteous cause, but still, it just lets you know how something this small could take a man that is mighty. This could be a woman. You women, you can't let a man take your mind. A lot of you women, you know, a Jake come up to you and approach you, and he hit you with a couple smooth words. Yo, what's good with you? Jake say, what's good with you? With his hat cocked back to the side, what's good with you? What's your name? And Eve lose her mind. The Lord not dealing with that. So like it, read on. It reads, her sandals ravished his eyes. Her beauty took his mind prisoner. Imagine that. A lot of brothers and sisters, you letting America take your mind prisoner. Jake, you letting a woman take you prisoner, man. He's taking your mind. You're getting ravished. A lot of you women, you letting the men take your mind prisoner. You letting a damn vehicle take your mind prisoner. Your job. Satan is taking people's minds out here. Reading on. Her sandals ravished his eyes. Her beauty took his mind prisoner, and the faucet plashed through his neck. And that's deep right there. A lot of brothers and sisters, their minds is getting taken prisoner by the spiritual demon Satan. That's why we have to be renewed by the spirit of our mind. Let's go to the book of Romans, the classic. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 12. So we touch on the negative aspects of the mind, your thoughts, meditations. Now we're going to get into how to actually renew that. What is tips and ways you can do to get your mind right spiritually? Because if you're not a spiritual man and woman in the last days, you're going to get carnal and you're going to die. That's Romans, the 8th chapter. This is the book of Romans, chapter 12, and verse number 2. Romans, chapter 12, and verse number 2. It reads, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You have to transform your mind. It's not a must. It's not a maybe or should I. You have to. A lot of brothers, they don't want to change the way they used to think. They want to carry that nigga man or that nigga woman to the truth. You can't do that. You have to change your mind. It says that ye may prove what is good and are acceptable and perfect will of God. So you have to prove that which is good by what? Renewing your mind. Now going into the meditation. Let's go to Psalm chapter 118. And meditation is not, you know, what the so-called Chinese man do over there in China, where he sit crisscross applesauce and he do like this and he start humming. That's not meditation. Meditation is just something you heavily thinking about. But on the deep, really meditation is when you think upon the laws of the Most High. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 118. Right, Psalms chapter 118 and verse number 15. Psalms chapter 119 and verse number 15. It reads, I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. So King David said, I'm going to meditate in the precepts of the Most High. And this truth requires a heavy meditation. You have to constantly be thinking about these precepts. how to please the Lord. And like I said, not necessarily, even if you're not reading or praying, you got to be thinking of ways how you could better yourself, examine yourself, what you could work on in the truth. So meditation is thinking upon the precepts and the laws of the Most High. And meditation takes time. You can meditate from, 10 to 20 minutes every now and then. But eventually, it's going to take time, man. It might take 2-3 hours. And a lot of brothers and sisters don't have 2-3 hours to just, kind of snatch out there. But things take time. If you really want something, you'll go get it. You have to constantly, you got to train your mind thinking about the Most High. Whenever that's, when you get up, you got to be thinking about the Lord. When you go to sleep, you got to be thinking about the Lord. And it's been times where I believe somebody said, what's that precept? It's Psalms 118 and 15. Psalms chapter 119 and 15. And it's been times, man, I have went to sleep and I'm thinking about Joshua. Literally, I'm tossing and turning in the bed and I'm thinking about the book of Joshua. Or I'm breaking down the scriptures to somebody in my dreams. Then as soon as I wake up, I'm getting reading it. You have to train your mind. It's going to take time. It's not going to be an overnight process. But you have to be willing to make that sacrifice and change your mind. Let's go to the book of Joshua, the classic. Joshua chapter 1. Salaki. Let's go to the book of Joshua chapter 1, verse number 8. This is Joshua chapter 1 and verse 8. This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Meaning you have to you got to be talking about this. Hey, Jake trying to talk about the damn NBA and how many threes Steph Curry did drop. We don't want to talk about that or pray for Ukraine. You got to be talking about the oracles of the Most High. That got to be your conversation. Hey, I kind of got on to Jake at my job about that. He was talking about everything else. Then I said, brother, why we not talking about what happened to us in slavery? Then he kind of said that was in the past. Come on, bro. You can't act like that. No, why you not talking about what happened to us as a people? People, their mind is not right, man. You gotta, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth. Read on. But thou shalt meditate therein day and night. Even if it's just just going through the precepts. Even though it shouldn't, you gotta get in here. Day and night, man. This stuff don't stop. You gotta be in love. It says that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. You gotta get to the point where somebody is telling you, why are you always in that Bible? Hey, somebody kind of told me that. They said, why you always reading, bro? And when they tell you that, then you know you really doing something right. Because every time they see you, your head is in his word, the scriptures. Let's go to Songs of Solomon real fast. So, you got to be in love. And you men, you got to be with your wife. Now, you might say, my wife is right here. What are you talking about? No. Wisdom, knowledge, that's your wife. Wisdom is your wife, man. Your first wife appointed to you by the Most High. You got to be in love with this. A lot of brothers, they not in love. Last time I checked, when you in love, you jakes know what I'm talking about. You meet a woman, next thing you know, you bring her flowers. Then you at home, you just thinking about her. You kind of smiling. You're cheesing in the mirror. That's how you got to be with this truth. A lot of you brothers and sisters, you not in love. Or you feel out of love. Nah, this thing don't stop. It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5. It's like your Songs of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse number. The Songs of Solomon, chapter 5 And I want verse number 8. It says, I charge you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if ye find my beloved, that ye tell him that I am sick of love. How many brothers and sisters really actually in this truth is sick of the love? Not that you tired of it, but that you need it. You can't function without the Most High. You have to be in love. And we don't care about these women. So what? Yeah, you could get women in the kingdom. This is your main wife right here. You gotta want her than any other woman on the planet. Now, if you have a wife, all praise to the Most High. That's a favor from the Most High. The Lord said in Proverbs 18:22, he that findeth a wife obtaineth a favor unto the Lord, from the Lord. So, if you have a wife, all praise to the Most High. But hey, this woman come first. Hey, I don't want to be with any other woman, man. But wisdom, not your understanding. Ravished in her love. You gotta be in love. Like I said, when you in love, you Eves know what I'm talking about as well. You just thinking about that, brother. You blowing his phone. You got certain Eves. They just blow Jake's phone up. Then Jake don't reply for 2 minutes. They still sending them text messages. And they see, these Eves crazy. They'll knock on your door. They'll call your mom and say, where is so-and-so at? That's how you got to be with this truth, man. With the Most High. Now let's go to Genesis chapter 24. Right? So you have to meditate. You have to take time out the day and focus and get your mind established on the Lord. Right? This is the book of Genesis chapter 24 and verse 63. It says, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field at eventide. So even our forefather Isaac, he took a part in meditation. And Isaac, he wasn't thinking about how to literally play Connect 4 or Foolishness. No, he was thinking about the oracles of the Most High. How to please the Lord, how to serve him. It says, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field at eventide. And when he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. So sometimes, you could go out into the field and you can meditate, man. There's nothing wrong with doing it. There's nothing wrong with going outside, taking your Bible, your notepad, and just getting in tune. You need to cherish those days right now. Because you can't try that in the days to come. Somebody might snatch up your kid. Why you trying to read and relax and read the scriptures and take notes? Somebody will take your kid and run off. Or take your book bags. So the times we approaching, brothers, that's what brothers and sisters don't get. You're not gonna have this free time to connect with the Most High. You're gonna be on the go. You have to be watching 24/7. Let's go to the book of Sirach. All right. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Chapter 6. Right, Sirach or Ecclesiasticus in our Apocrypha. Chapter 6. Right, it's the book of Sirach. Chapter 6. And verse number 37. Sirach chapter 6 and verse number 37. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord. So you gotta get into this thing. Get your Apocrypha, your notepad. If you got the maps, try to pull it up. Hey, try to pull up the maps. Your Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary. Let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord. And that comes what? Through consistently reading. Through consistently praying. Watching the videos. A lot of brothers, you don't watch the videos. The videos is sometimes good to watch because you can increase your learning. It says, and meditate continually in his commandments. Got to be thinking about the commandments. Oh, yeah, we do got the feast day coming up. Hey, Passover is approaching. And we're gonna touch on that in another video, Lord willing. But You got feast days approaching the new moon. Come on, yeah, we gonna get that together. Man, it's gonna be mighty. You gotta think upon these commandments. How to love your brother. Man, yeah, Jonathan, man, that was a beautiful account. Hey, Jonathan, he took off his clothes for David, man. Lord willing, I could accomplish that. It's how your mind gotta be. It says, he shall establish thy heart and give thee wisdom at thy own desire. And when you do that, the Lord is going to establish your heart, meaning your thoughts. Next thing you know, the Lord is increasing your wisdom and your knowledge. He's giving more and more to you. Why? Because you're thinking about him. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 14. So with that being said, you have to pray also that the Lord gives you pleasant thoughts. Why? Because you literally living in a world full of wickedness. And I hope brothers and sisters not under a rock knowing that. You can't be under a rock in 2022 not knowing what's going on. You just out here. You just here. No, you living in a world full of wickedness. Adultery is happening. You got to think about it. How many people in the world right now is committing adultery? Esau says like 8 billion people in the world. So if it's 8 billion people in the world, as we on this live right now, I'm led to believe it's over 1,000 men and women they commit adultery as we speak. It's a homosexual, a man getting popped right now. Esau, he's throwing up curses on you right now. It's a lot of wickedness going on, man. But yet, you thinking about 2K. You're thinking about a damn video game. Or should you wear your button-up tuxedo to work? Or should you wear a blue tuxedo to work? So this is what the Lord said. You got to pray that the Lord give you good thoughts and pleasant thoughts. It's Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 and verse number 20. Blessed is the man that doth meditate good things in wisdom. Pray to the Most High that he causes you to meditate good things in wisdom. It says, and that reason of holy things by his understanding. He that considereth her ways in his heart shall also have understanding in her secrets. And the Lord has given you wisdom. Whether that's the smallest of wisdom, which goes back to the fear of the Lord, or you have knowledge of deeper things in the Bible. You got to consider the ways, man, and consider the ways of wisdom. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 1. Right, let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 1. This is the book of Romans, chapter 1, and verse 21. It says what? Because that when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful. And a lot of brothers and sisters not thankful that the Lord brought them into the truth. You have what somebody is in the world is looking for. You know how the world is going to end. You know the prophecies. You know what's coming next. You know how to prepare yourself. You know how to get everlasting life. And yet you're not thankful. Every time you're not thinking about the Most High, you're not thankful. It says what? Neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. You got to make sure your imaginations is not becoming vain and foolish. These are the things we got to put work in. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. Right? Let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse number 3. Proverbs, chapter 16, and verse number 3. It reads, right? Proverbs, chapter 16 and 3. Commit thy works unto the Lord. Meaning the works are the things that you produce, your fruit. If your work is constantly on the ministry of the Most High, whether that's, the videos, going out teaching, making food, making garments, fringes, etc., whatever you do, and it says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. All you got to do is put your mind to it. Hey, Jake said that in the world. You could do whatever you put your mind to. Your mind got to be put to the truth, to these commandments. The Lord, he's going to establish your thoughts. Why? Because on a deeper level, the Lord is the one that's caused you to think certain things. The Lord, he forms your thoughts. Let's get that in Amos, the 4th chapter. See, man thinks that he makes his own thoughts. This Amos chapter 4 and verse 13. For lo, he that formeth the mountains and created the wind and declareth unto man what is his thought, that maketh the morning darkness and treadeth upon the high places of the Lord, the God of hosts is his name. So the Most High, he declares to what man is his thoughts. That's why I say in Proverbs 16 and 1, the preparations in the heart of man is from the Lord, paraphrasing it. So if you commit thy works into the Most High, by default, your ways will be established. Your thoughts will be established. Let's go to Proverbs, the 4th chapter. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 4. And I believe I'm on verse 23. Right? Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 23. It says, keep thy heart with all diligence. So knowing that you is living in the last days and the end times, you have to keep your mind with all diligence. You got to protect your mind, man. Right? Every second you wake up in the morning, protecting your mind. Every time a spirit try to come up against you, you got to protect your mind, your thoughts. No, the Lord said this. Going to the precepts. Or you thinking about that. Hey, something happened. Next you know you thinking about the precept. At a time, I seen a horse. It was at camp. And I seen a horse walk past. And I automatically thought of a precept. So your mind got to be committed into the works of the Most High. And he will establish your thoughts. Let's get a couple more. Let's go to the book of Peru. Let's go to the book of Baruch. Right, the classic. Baruch, chapter 4, and verse number 28. Right? Baruch, chapter 4, and verse number 28. For as it was for your mind to go astray from God. So if your mind, anytime your mind is to go astray in this world, in this society, it says what? So being returned, seek him 10 times more. So anytime your mind goes astray in this wicked society that you're living in, you have to seek the Most High 10 times more. Whether that's hitting up a sister, asking her for the fast for you, or the fast with you, you hitting up a brother, you reaching out for counsel, you reading, you throwing up prayers. You have to seek the Most High 10 times more. Or else your mind is going to be alienated from the Most High. Next thing you know, you back in the world. Just like that. These things happen every day. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 39. Right, Sirach, chapter 39, and verse number 1. It says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients, and be occupied in prophecies. Right? And it's a classic, man. All you have to do is just give your mind over to the Most High. Are you going to make that sacrifice? Or is it too grievous unto you? Or you don't feel like doing it? A lot of women and men say, I don't have enough time. Who's going to be that man or that woman that go make time? Although they occupied in the society, in the world, who's going to make time to get a mind over to the Most High? And it take a sacrifice to do that. Because you might have a lot on your plate. But who's going to take their mind and give it to the Lord? Here, you have it. The Lord said you're going to be occupied. Let me read that again. It says, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, and will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients, and be occupied in prophecies. That's all you're going to think about. Zechariah. Okay, Daniel. Okay, Revelation. Okay, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, Isaiah. You constantly thinking about the prophecy. Second Esdras. Second Esdras, the 16th chapter. Second Esdras 15. Second Esdras 9. Revelation 17. Right? Revelation chapter 9. Revelation 8. Revelation 6. Going into the seals. You're going to be constantly thinking about the prophecies. It says, he will keep the sayings of renowned men, and where subtile parables are, he will be there also. He will seek out the secrets of grave sentences and be conversant in dark parables. All because this man gave his mind over to the Most High. Verse 4, he shall serve among great men and appear before princes. He will travail through strange countries, for he have tried the good and the evil among men. Right, so like he tried the good and the evil among men. He would give his heart to resort early to the Lord that made him, and will pray before the Most High. And on another fold, resorting, giving your mind to the Most High and resorting early, that's not just talking about when you're young or when you're 5 years old. No, that early represents before the destruction comes, when the days are not evil yet, when men is not killing each other yet, and people eating each other, and men starving to death. Right now, it starts right now. Get your mind right. Stay humble through the Spirit. If you don't get your mind right, you will be destroyed. I don't know how many times I got to say that. Maybe the Lord just got to start destroying men, and that'll happen. And if I don't have my mind, I just can't just not have my mind right. If I don't have my mind right, the Lord would take my office and give it to another man. So it says, I will read that again. He will give his heart to resort early to the Lord that made him, and will pray before the Most High, and will open his mouth in prayer and make supplication for his sins. See that? And when you go read Sirach, the 39th chapter, if you got the 1611 Bible, in the description, it says, a description of him that is truly wise. Meaning everything that is listed in Sirach 39 and 10 down to verse 9, that's what a wise man will be doing. So let me get a closing precept through the Spirit. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15. Right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And man, it's a lot going on right now in the world. Time moving faster. Brothers and sisters is falling out. It's a lot going on, man. It's 1 Corinthians 15 and 58. Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. And a good way to establish and get your thoughts established in the commandments is to always abound in the work of the Most High. It says, for as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord. Right? And with that, we giving all honor and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Mashiach Umarak Yahushua. Lord willing, this video was edifying. You receive edification. Whether that's one precept or 10. Lord willing, you keep enduring, reading, praying, and fasting. And most importantly, beseeching the Heavenly Father for his mercies. And with that, I say shalom.